On today's video, what are we doing? We should do me, and then we'll do Chris. Good idea? I feel like it'll be different. Okay, yeah. All right, we're good. Where should I go? Here, 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 here. On today's video, we're gonna show you guys what you gotta take to your first track day. Well, actually, not your first track day, any track day. This is just what I bring, and then we're gonna see if we can get Chris to do it too, so you can see what he brings versus what I bring to any drift event. Follow us. Typically what we do is, well, here's what actually happens versus what you should do. What you should do is you should plan out the night before or the week before what you want to bring, what you're going to need, get all your tools together, sort them out, bring everything nice and neat, put it in the truck. That way when the event comes, you're good to go. Here's what actually happens. We all meet up at the shop about 30 minutes before the driver's meeting. We run in here and I try to figure out what I got to bring, and we forget most of the stuff. That's how it goes. First thing, some gloves, preferably a new pair. I usually just bring one pair of gloves and I don't even use them. But you want to bring something, because who wants to be walking around with dirty ass hands the whole day, and then you got to touch your steering wheel and everything. I'd say this is the most important thing of the day, is an impact gun. I mean, you can obviously, if you got a T-bar or some shit that you want to use instead of this, that's fine too. But if you are fortunate enough to own an impact gun, bring it. 17 millimeter socket for the impact gun, because that's what my lugs are. I guess before anything, you're gonna need somewhere to put everything, so get some kind of a bag. Basically, there's no strategy to this. I guess we're kind of making one right now as we film this, but usually what happens is we just come over here to the toolbox, open it drawer by drawer. I see something that I think I might need, and I throw it in the bag. Sometimes, depending on my car's current condition, I'll bring more tools than less, because it might not be that, I might be expecting a problem. So we already have the 17 millimeter socket on the gun. That's for the wheels. You're gonna need that no matter what. So you might as well bring that. Next thing I'd say would be a 3/8 ratchet of some sort, because you're gonna need, in case something breaks, you're gonna have to have a standard tool set. Now, I'm not bringing all of these sockets, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna go 8 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 12 millimeter, 11 in case you got some clamps, like T-bolt clamps, 14, 17, and that's probably it as far as 3/8 go. And I'm just bringing deep ones because it's better to have a deep than a shallow. So, what else? Extensions. Yeah, I'd probably bring some extensions. Maybe this medium length one, that would probably be it. Screw it, might as well bring a swivel too. What else we got? So that covers a lot right there. I mean, the next thing I'd probably bring would be a 1/4 inch ratchet, and same thing, 10, 12, 8, 14, and no 14. Just the smaller sizes for the 1/4 inch ratchet. What else? And then, you gotta think about specific things on your car. Like for me, that's pretty much all I need from this drawer, unless I plan on breaking axles or something like that, in which case you're going to want to bring some big sockets, so you can bring some larger sockets in case you have a feeling you're going to be doing an axle job. 3/8 ratchet, breaker bar, not a bad idea. And then you might as well get some of those sockets too. And I would just bring the impact ones. So we already have a 17. Let's bring a 19 for sure, which is missing, of course. So you want a 19. I already got the axle socket. That's pretty much it from here. I would like to bring another gun, but we don't really have enough room. Technically you have enough room, but not in the bag. Let's pretty much it from here. I'm not really worried about too many other tools in here. And then go to the next drawer where you got wrenches, dikes. Definitely bringing these. Anything to cut zip ties, this is definitely something you want to bring. A standard plier set, another good thing to bring. And then you got to get to wrenches. Damn, my adjustable's not in here. I think it's at home. That would have been something good. You want to bring a big adjustable wrench. This is too small. You want to bring something bigger than this. And then I'm doing the same thing with the wrenches that I did with the sockets. 10, 12, 14, 17, 19. And then, like I said, if you think you have any strange sizes you need, like right now I'm thinking about tie rods. I'm thinking that might be a 13 millimeter. So bring that in case you gotta replace or adjust your tie rod. Yeah, that's really it. Vice grips, always good to have. That's probably it from here. I don't want to go too crazy. All right, screwdrivers and Allen keys. I don't think I have many Allen keys on the car now, so I probably wouldn't bring any of them. Screwdrivers, you're gonna want screwdrivers, so I'd like to bring something bigger like this. That's probably, probably want to bring a little stubby if you have it. Oh, well, for me, this actually does matter. For my specific situation, I'm going to need rivets. So I'm going to bring a pack of rivets, and I would bring my rivet gun, but it's missing. So I would bring a rivet gun and I'd bring that because that's what holds my side skirts on. So just in case they come off and I got to put them back on. Which also reminds me, if I'm going to do that, then I'm going to need a drill. So 1/8 drill bit and this would have to come with me. Hammers, you're going to need hammers. You might as well bring the big ones. Well, that's pretty much it from there. Wow, this drawer is f***ed up. Yeah, you don't gotta see in there. Major key right here. Flashlight, make sure it's charged. Some kind of spark plug adjustment tool or gapper. Gapper? Did I just make that word up? Some kind of tool to check the gap of the spark plugs. Gonna need that too. Good idea. Another major thing you need. If I was gonna say the two major things so far that we brought, it would probably be these two things. I mean, you don't know what you might get into. You know, you might be changing a gasket, you might be changing an oil pan gasket like Chris did one of the last events we did. So maybe you should bring tools too, just in case you got to scrape a RTV off of something. You know, it might not be a bad idea to bring that so you don't have to buy it at an AutoZone. I mean, this was a little bit unrealistic. I probably would bring 3/4 of this. Because like I said, what's actually going to happen is we're going to be rushing the morning of and I'm going to forget everything. Another good idea, pry bar. Action. All right, here it is. Everything I would like to bring to the track, but we'll probably forget about 1/4 of it. Let's go through it. Something I forgot to mention before, zip ties. Very, very important. Zip ties are one of the most important things. So this is my bag right here. This is the bag I'm using lately. So, and lately I mean 4 years ago. It's just got some pockets in here, and yeah, I literally just throw everything in here. Make sure you don't have any holes in the bag like I probably do, because you will come back and you'll be wondering who stole your 10 millimeter, and it was no one. So zip ties. Those, I mean, zip ties I usually end up putting on the outside because they are way too important to be buried somewhere. So, oh, I look like an idiot now. I'm good at that. Zip ties, let's go in first. What else we got here? Screwdrivers. So I got Phillips flathead, different sizes. Want to put those in there. Yes, my tools are dirty because of that CA engine. If any of you remember us taking that apart on our live stream, that thing was filthy, and my tools are still dirty from it, like this one. I even cleaned these, and it's still got oil in it. So screwdrivers going in there. Me personally, I just take all the sockets I need, and I just throw them right in the bag. I'm sure there's a more organized way to do this, but I'm not the one that does it. So yeah, I just grab all the sockets, throw them in there. I already picked the ones I wanted, so that's fine. Ratchets, same thing. I do bring a 1/4 inch and a 3/8 no matter what. This 1/2 inch might not bring all the time, so. But this is my dream list of what I would bring, so it's a little hopeful. Hammers. Always need a hammer. Probably would just end up bringing this rubber one because there's more situations where I would use a rubber mallet than a metal one. So extensions going in here. Wrenches. I said this before, I don't have a big adjustable wrench here. I would definitely bring a big adjustable wrench because that is probably what I'm going to use to take off inner tie rods from a steering rack, and maybe adjust rear arms on the suspension. So keep that in mind. All the wrenches, I mean, you could put a rubber band around these. That would be nice. Maybe I should look into that, like those cable organizer things. That would be good. But I don't do that. I just throw them in here. Dikes or any kind of cutter, and a plier set or one plier. You could bring needle nose too. Not a bad idea. I'm lying right now. I'd never bring this, but I should. So I'm adding it to the list. Any type of vice grip. Okay. Another thing I probably don't bring, but I've had to do oil pan gaskets before at the track, and it's not fun. So bring something so you don't have to go buy tools at AutoZone. Flashlight, very important. I might even keep this on the outside of the bag because I'm going to need to grab that more often. Tire pressure gauge, that's going right in my pocket, 100%, because I'm going to be using this the entire track day. Spark plug gap tool, definitely bring this. What else? You obviously need this. This is the impact gun. If you don't have this, you're going to need some kind of T-bar or something to take the wheels on and off. Some things that I bring that other people might not bring. I bring rivets to replace the rivets holding my side skirts on. God forbid those get ripped off somehow. And a drill with I think it's an 1/8 inch drill bit, just for the rivets. Breaker bar and a pry bar. Where you want to put those is up to you. This bag's not going to hold them, so they're probably just going to go in the back of the truck somewhere. Another thing I bring that other people might not care about, depending on what you give a shit about with drifting. Something to wipe the car down in case it gets dirty. You know, instant detailer, honestly anything. Any soap in a spray bottle will work. Clean the interior too if you get dirt in there. Glass. Again, rivet tool. So these I probably won't put in there. These I would put like in my back seat just so they don't get filthy dirty. And then a couple other things would be wood to maybe roll my car, depending on how low your car is, wood to roll the car onto, and then put the jack underneath the car to jack it up. And then you want to bring a jack. You don't need a full-size jack like this, but this is what we always bring, so this is the one I'm showing you guys. And then a knife, for sure. You should always have a knife on you anyway, but a knife comes in handy often, especially with zip ties, stuff like that. And that stays with me. And that is, that's pretty much the general rundown of what I bring. One more thing, you gotta bring oil. You gotta bring at least a quart of oil. If your engine is known to burn a lot of oil, then bring a jug of oil, whatever you wanna do. But I usually end up bringing a quart of oil. So, and I check my oil after every heat. I go out, do a bunch of runs, come back in, check the oil. So, good to have. Another thing, brake clean. You're gonna wanna bring a can of brake clean. You're gonna have to clean stuff off, whether you gotta work on it or not, you know, you're gonna want that, so.
All right, so my stuff that I bring to the track. This is not as intensive as Frankie's. I don't think I'm ever gonna go that far with the rivets, but basic hand tools. You got pry bar. This was already in my tool bag. This is a chisel, but I also use it to scrape stuff, like what Frankie said earlier. If I need to scrape RTV or something. Personally, I like bringing a small screwdriver, a pick. You never know when you need to take off a connector or something you can't reach. Screwdriver. This one's kind of nice. It's like a 2-in-1. It's flathead. Pull this out, and it's a Phillips. That way, it's one less thing in my tool bag. You got your TPMS gauge. Allen keys. You never know if you have Allen keys on your car. If you don't, then you won't need Allen keys. My lugs are 17 millimeter. I got two different versions. I have a 1/2-inch impact socket. Then I have a 1/2-inch adapter to a thinner wall with techie socket, also a 17 mil, just in case the wheel lock or your lug doesn't fit in your wheel. Little tube of RTV. You never know when you need to reseal something or something's leaking on your car. Quick fix. You got your hammer, pair of dikes, pair of vice grips. I got my adjustable wrench, channel locks. I don't know if that's the right word for these. Pair of needle nose pliers, zip ties. I don't expect everybody to have this, but some type of torque wrench if you're not sure how to torque your wheels properly. Flashlight. Always need a flashlight. Some type of jumper pack in case your battery fails or somebody else needs help. Duct tape. You never know when you're gonna need duct tape. Doesn't take that much room. Got my 3/8 impact gun. Definitely want to make sure they're charged. Then the 1/2-inch. And in the tool bag, this is not necessary, but it was already in here. This is just bug spray. You never know the type of environment you're gonna be in. Inside, I'm not gonna take all these out because I don't want to organize. Various wrenches. This goes all the way from 8 mil to 22 millimeter. I don't know if you ever need anything bigger than that. And if you do, you got your adjustable wrench. Along with the wrenches, there are various sockets, again, from 8 to 19 or 22. Another thing I keep in here, these are just extra that I had laying around, worm clamps. You never know when you're gonna need a worm clamp. Let's say your worm clamp blows on your intercooler or your intake. Let's say your exhaust hanger fails. This is like a cheap fix that you can do just to get yourself home. Pair of gloves, always extra pair of gloves. You wanna stay clean. A rag of some sort. And personally me, I end up getting dirty anyway somehow, so I like to bring some type of hand cleaner. Just throw that in the bag, easy. Hard to see, but in here I do have extra random hardware. Extra bolts, maybe you lose a bolt or something. 10 mil, maybe a nut. Extra vacuum line. You never know when you need an extra vacuum line. This is assuming there's some type of vacuum line you're not sure of. Just bring it anyways, it doesn't take that much room. So this is pretty much what goes in my bag. In a separate container, you got your fluids. So you got extra coolant, extra oil, ATF or power steering fluid. This is just a bougier version. Brake fluid, PB blaster, penetrant, and brake clean. And then pretty much what's not in a container, you got your 2x4. Not all the time you're gonna be parking on pavement. You're parking on dirt. And just a flat piece of cardboard, or even like a floor mat would be fine. Just so you can stay dirty if you have to get under the car. And obviously, a jack. At the end of the day, all this stuff, you should just be checking your car regularly. Not regularly, but before you go out for an event. Make sure everything's nice and tight, nothing is loose, your car is up to par, and you won't have to bring as much stuff. Just the typical basic stuff like this. So that's all I bring.
Something else to mention, it doesn't matter if he brings all this because the one thing he's going to need is not going to be here. Right? Doesn't it happen every time? Like you bring all this shit and then you get there and then the one 18 millimeter socket you didn't bring.
Yep.
That's going to happen anyway, either way. So
yeah, just bring the basic tools. There are other people out there that might have the tool that you need, so don't be shy to ask. Ask around the pits. Hey, you got an 18 millimeter socket I could use? Ask them. If not, then call a tow. So, yeah.
call the tow truck, brother. Why do I have this fucking ball? All right, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. It really helps us out if you leave a comment, something like that. Let us know in the comments, actually, what you bring to the track that we didn't mention. Or if we brought anything that, you think is overkill. Roast us in the comments, please. That's what I'm asking you to do, okay? Just tell us what we brought was crazy. Also, we have a podcast. I don't know if you guys know this, but we do have a podcast every Wednesday. It gets released, the audio, and every Tuesday night, not every Tuesday night, but usually Tuesday night, we do a live stream on YouTube as well with the podcast, so check it out. We just got our new audio equipment, so the audio should be light years better starting probably after you see this video. So, yeah, that's really it. Also, if you do listen to the podcast on any audio or listening platforms, please make sure you leave us a review and give it 5 stars because that really does help. We're still trying to get used to how all the podcast stuff works, but that seems to be the way that you move ahead with the podcast world. So, yeah, leave us a review if you can on Apple or Spotify, whatever you're using. And, yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully this helped you guys out.